They told me I was paranoid when I first started talking about building that road. You know the tone, laughing like you're just being dramatic or whispering to each other behind their HOA-mandated privacy hedges. There hasn't been a fire here in decades, they'd say. This isn't the wilderness, it's Maple Hollow. But that's the thing about loss, it never cares about your zip code. It just finds you, wherever you try to hide. I'd smelled that smoke before. I'd worn it in my hair for weeks. I'd waited for calls that never came because the people I loved were already gone. I built the fire road because I had to. After the fire that took Marcus and Clara, I learned quick. No one's coming to save you if the system breaks down. The official evacuation route in our old place turned into a parking lot in 10 minutes flat. All it takes is one block street, one missed detail. So, out here, before the clubhouse was built, before the flowerbed newsletters and the monthly board elections, I started carving out a way out. Just me, a chainsaw, a pair of ancient military gloves, and every bit of anger and guilt I had left. I kept my head down, hauled brush until my shirt clung to my back, rented a bobcat off a guy at the hardware store, worked through dusk in August until my hands shook. 6 months of sweat, rocks, and splinters. I didn't mention it to the HOA because, why would I? This was my land, bought free and clear before anyone in Maple Hollow even thought about speed bumps and mailboxes with uniform fonts. I didn't do it to stick it to anybody. I did it because I didn't want to bury anyone else I loved. Neighbors would sometimes slow their dog walks when I was out there. Some gave a wave. Most just kept on moving, like curiosity was contagious and they didn't want to catch it. Around here, curiosity costs. But I finished that road. Almost a mile long, wide enough for a pickup and a car to pass if you're careful, reinforced with railroad ties I scavenged, dotted with reflectors and cones stashed in a tub under a tarp. The entrance was disguised behind a split-rail fence that swung open with a trick latch only I knew. Took less than 10 seconds, even on a bad day. Then the letters started. Rainy Wednesday, glossy envelope. Dear Mr. Roar. Never Daniel. Always Mr. Roar, like they were talking to a problem, not a person. The HOA had caught wind of my unauthorized throughway and attached a blurry photo that made my fire road look like a crime scene. They quoted bylaws, articles, subsections, font bolded for intimidation. It wasn't about brush or risk or landscaping. It was about control. A week later, Connor from the board dropped by at dinner time with his neighborly check-in, looking everywhere but at me. Concerns about erosion, he said. Fire risk, ironically. I just stared at him, asked if he really thought a cleared path was more dangerous than a wall of dry brush. He fumbled for an answer about proper channels. I told him, that road could save your life. He muttered something about paperwork, and I shut the door before he could finish. I knew what came next. Orange violation notices zip-tied to my mailbox, fines stacking up like poker chips, cold emails from the compliance committee that read like ransom notes. Every day, another letter. Every day, another reason to tear down the only thing I'd built since losing Marcus and Clara that actually meant something. But I didn't take it down. Not after all that work. Not when I could still see Marcus, 7 years old, running down that path barefoot in my memory, hair sticking up in the back, yelling for me to catch up. The fines kept coming. $150, $300, $450. I kept a folder in the kitchen. Maple Hollow nonsense. Got thicker every week. Some neighbors whispered support. A couple told me the board had shot down fire safety proposals years ago. Most just hoped it would all go away. It never does. Then they put up the gate. I came home one afternoon, groceries in hand, and there it was, 6 feet of welded steel across my road, padlocked shut, private property, do not enter, stenciled in angry yellow paint. That gate didn't just block a road, it dared me to give up. I didn't. Called Jackson, my old friend turned real estate lawyer, sent him photos, and told him to throw everything we had at them. He laughed, said this was trespassing, destruction of property, illegal construction, all of it. You sure about this, Daniel? He asked. I've got time, I told him. Truth was, I didn't have any time left to lose. The standoff got ugly. Petitions, city hearings, local news stories with my name half spelled right. Karen, the board president, delivered speeches about community cohesion, while the county fire marshal quietly filed his report calling my road the best secondary fire egress he'd seen in a decade. But still the gate stood, concrete anchored, padlocked, sending the message, not your call. The city sided with me, ordered the gate removed under the public safety code. The HOA grumbled, muttered about lawsuits, but the lock came off. I kept my head down, started volunteering with the new safety committee, ran fire drills, and helped register the road officially. They even hung a reflective sign, Arwar Way, emergency exit only. I didn't ask for that. Someone just did it. But the land didn't care about bylaws. That fall, the wind changed. The kind of wind that hums low at night, turns pine needles into fuses, and makes you sit up and check the horizon for a faint orange glow. The fire started 20 miles out, a dry lightning strike on the ridge. By morning, it was triple the size, eating up containment lines. The evacuation order hit my phone just after noon. Maple Hollow was boxed in, main road jammed with cars, horns blaring, families arguing, dogs barking, people frozen by indecision. I loaded my truck, checked on neighbors, called Susan, one of the few who'd supported me. She was rallying the older folks, those without family or cars. The main road was already a parking lot. Smoke crawled in, ash drifting like snow. I shouted, "Follow me," and started toward the fire road, the same road the board had called an eyesore. Minivans, sedans, a golf cart. I led them down, headlights bouncing, smoke thick as soup. We made it through just as the fire crested the ridge, a wall of orange swallowing the last row of houses. I kept going back, ran convoys for hours, guided families, hauled Mrs. Ellison on my back while she clutched her cat, cleared debris for a tourist family who got stuck, pulled Connor's nephew to safety with the flames 30 feet behind us. I must have made a dozen runs. By nightfall, every living soul in Maple Hollow had gotten out. Not one life lost. The fire took 40-some houses, blackened half the trees, left the air bitter for weeks, but it didn't take a single person. The mood shifted after that. Karen stepped down. Connor, too. The board held elections. I didn't run, didn't want a seat, but they made me the first advisor to the safety committee. We ran drills, cut more brush, applied for grants, bought water tanks. People nodded when they saw me, stopped with awkward half-hugs, dropped off banana bread with apologies baked in. Kids drew pictures. One stuck on my fridge, crayon stick figure with a flashlight leading a line of cars through the fire. I walked the road sometimes at dawn, just me and the sound of gravel under my boots. The trees still bear the scars, but there are shoots of green in the ash, like a second chance. Somebody planted a flag at the bend, small, nothing fancy. No name, no note. Just a marker. I know what it means. This road belongs to all of us now. Born from loss, kept alive by stubbornness, proven by fire. Some say I was crazy, others call me a hero. Truth is, I was just a man who refused to let the system decide who gets to live and who gets left behind. So, you tell me, where do you draw the line between order and safety, between rules and doing what's right? Would you have risked it all for a dirt road and a memory? Yeah, maybe I was paranoid. Or maybe I just knew. Sometimes, the only way out is the one you build with your own hands. Now I want to hear what you think. Was I right to fight them? Should I have followed the rules and left well enough alone? What does community even mean when the chips are down? Do you side with the board or the people? Drop your thoughts below, share your story, argue, debate. That's how we keep each other sharp. Because next time, it might be your road, your fight, your family on the line.